presenters. Yeah, this handsome man sitting beside me is Darren.
Hey everyone, I'm going to be answering questions in the chat role. So if this is your first webinar with us, you'll see right on the screen there's an option to log into the chat. You have to do that with your Facebook or your Twitter account. It is optional though, so you don't have to log in, but we always encourage everyone to do so because it makes this more interactive and more fun. You can ask me anything you want at any time, although I do always caution everyone not to ask too many questions right off the bat because Mike's going to share his screen here in a moment and there will be a presentation which should answer most of them. And if they don't get answered, then we'll have a lot of time at the end for Q&A. This is a global business. We got people coming to our webinar from all over the world in every different time zone. We're in Toronto, Canada right now. That's why it's dark behind us. It's already 8 p.m. here. And so if you put in there where you're from, we'll get started.
All right, gang. Well, first of all, welcome to the webinar. Tonight, we are going to keep you here for about 90 minutes of your time. Now, folks, I fully understand how valuable your time is, so I'm going to try to keep this as tight to that schedule as possible. But I can promise you this, in the time that you're here, probably going to blow your mind. We're going to introduce you to a system that is being used by thousands of people, regardless of what color they are, what age they are, what country they live in. They're all using the same system and they're getting results. What are they doing with this? Well, they're working online. They're working online from the comfort of their own home. If that's something you've always wanted to do, but you just didn't know where to start or it just seemed like too much to take on by yourself, folks, congratulations. You are in the right place. We can help you, and I'm going to show you exactly how by doing this presentation. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here in a second. I do encourage all of you to hop into that chat role. Just if you do have a question that comes to mind, you can pop it in there. But also just it's nice to kind of watch the conversation going on in there too, because inevitably, if you have a question, probably about 10 other people will as well. So this way it'll help it out and probably help this poor guy too, because he just has to answer 1 instead of 10. So bear with me, guys. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here and I'll be right back in a sec. Boom. All right, there we are, folks. So tonight, like I say, is all about getting you into the online space and most importantly, successfully doing it. So while you're getting settled in, telling us a bit about yourself, we'll all go ahead and do the same. And Darren and I'll start off and then you'll hear from these beautiful people that you also see on your screen here in a sec. Darren and I are digital nomads. We've been working online for years and we will be working online for years to come. Why? Because it's the best way to do it. It's the best way to make money, folks. You know, nothing gives you the kind of freedom and flexibility that comes from being your own boss working in the online space. We've ran our businesses from literally the Blue Lagoon of Iceland, from the heights of the Inca Trail in Peru, from the castles of Europe, everywhere you could possibly imagine, all 4 corners of this gorgeous globe that we call home, we have ran our business. The reason I'm mentioning this is because I want you to understand, folks, you can now run a business while on vacation. You can run a business from wherever you live in the world. You can run a business anywhere. You can find a satellite, Wi-Fi, or cell signal. It's that simple. And for us, the reason we're doing these presentations tonight and we're doing it live is because it's all about you. At this stage in our career, Darren and I are so passionate about getting as many people into the online space as we possibly can. Why? Because we understand how important it is. Folks, the writing is on the wall. It is the technological revolution. Forget about the industrial revolution. That's the stuff in the history books these days. It is all about getting into the online space because that's where everything is moving. When was the last time you made an online purchase, right? Now, I ask you the first question of the night. I'm going to ask you a lot of hard questions tonight, guys. First question is this. If you're spending money online, then why aren't you trying to make money online? The money going in should hopefully match at least the money going out, right? Folks, you cannot bury your head in the sand. You've got to look to get into the online space because everything in the world is making the move online. Every major company has already done it. We need to get you there too. This system we've created that's going to help you do it has been designed exactly for you. It's a system that's been put together by experts, some of the people in the top of the game in the online space, in order to get the everyday average person also working in the online space. What we have put together here, folks, are all of the sales tools, all of the training, all of the mentorship. Heck, we've even done the product research you need to get up and running with a business that can make you money in the shortest amount of time possible. We've designed this specifically so that you do not need to be a technological guru, you do not need to be an business expert, and you certainly do not have to have ever done anything in the online space. All right, guys? So don't panic. If you haven't got a degree in IT, it's okay. We can help you. In fact, it's probably better if you don't, because then you don't have bad habits. But I digress. Let me get on to introducing our second presenter tonight, the beautiful Leanne, who's coming at us live from Houston, Texas, folks, who uses the same system, in fact, and did to fire her boss in just 6 short weeks. Leanne, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Mike. Welcome, everybody from all over the world. It is great to have you here with us. I will tell you briefly just about where I come from, so you have an idea about the fact that I didn't know a thing. If you don't know a thing about the online world, I didn't know a thing about this online world either. So we may be very, very similar in a lot of ways. I have been running my own online business for 3.5 years. But you see, I have 2 beautiful children who are now 20 and 17. I can't really believe it. But they were 16 and 13 when I started my business. I come from the corporate world. I come from that rat race. I come from the boss telling me when to be there, when to go to lunch, and when to take a break, and the whole that rat race of just insanity is what I call it. But to me, it was more about missing life. It was missing life with my kids, missing their after-school activities, missing out on homework, missing out on really the formative years of when they needed their mom the most. And I always felt a lot of guilt and shame wrapped around that. But I was trying to provide. But I knew everything was moving online. I knew technology was the place to be. I just didn't know how to get there. So long story short, I ended up taking a leap of faith. I watched a workshop. I took a leap of faith. I plugged into the training, and I fired my boss in 6 weeks and 2 days. And I did not see that coming. So I know if I can do it, you guys can do it. So let's talk about you guys. This is about you tonight. Let's talk about what you're going to learn. You're going to learn how to grow your own online business, grow it as fast as possible, because the goal is to make money as quickly as possible using the automated systems that we're going to break down for you. And you get to see and hear from people from all over the world who are using the same exact system, earning huge commissions and firing their bosses too, if that's their dream lifestyle. Not everybody wants to fire their boss. Some people like their job, but most people want to be a job quitter, because that's where technology is going. So if that's you, you're in the right place, which brings me to why is everybody moving online? That's exactly why. We are in the technology phase. We're no longer in the past phase where the 401ks and retirement and all that meant so much. Things are different now. Everything is moving online. Stores are closing all around us. You cannot miss that. Automation and technology are taking over. Artificial intelligence is taking over. I will tell you this. This is good news and bad news. On average, about 10,000 people a month are losing their jobs, their 8-to-5 daily grind jobs, due to the fact that they're being replaced by automation and technology. That's why now is the time to learn how to make money online. You want to make it work for you, not against you. So do it now. Now, I say all that, but the internet, it's still very young. It's 50 years old, but it's still very young. It moves at a rapid pace. And so we keep up with that pace, but it moves fast. And so you want to start now so that you won't be lost down the road. And I will tell you, the action takers of today, people that take action and learn how to make money online, will be the millionaires of tomorrow. But we have, and I'm so proud to say this, quite a few millionaires already using our system at this point.
And, folks, as they say, it's all about results, right? I don't know how else we can talk about results until you can actually look at the lives that a system like this has touched. So many people get to fire their bosses now. Imagine what that means. Taking back control of your lives, spending your days with the people you want, doing the things that you enjoy most. That's what this is all about. They say money doesn't make the world go round, right? Well, say that to these people, because these are the people that are paying off mortgages, putting kids through school, taking kids on vacations, doing the things they've always dreamed of. Yeah, it's not all about the money. It's not even about the money. It's about what the money can do for you and your family. That's really what it boils down to. So I ask you this now, guys. I know all of you here tonight who are working in the 9-to-5 world are wondering the same thing, but how sick and tired are you of waking up to that bloody alarm clock every day to go make somebody else rich? Because that's exactly what you're doing when you're an employee. You're never going to have the freedom to travel. You're never going to get to be your own boss, even if you're, quote, a manager, unquote. You know what a manager is? Somebody who just gets paid less hourly. I've been a manager before. Salary is one of the biggest games in the racket, because now you're working more for really less overall. Folks, here is the deal. This is for each and every one of you, because I know for a fact this is your best way to spend your time with your family, make the money that you finally deserve, that will allow you to do the things you've always dreamt of doing, and just as importantly, also to secure your future. Now, here's a funny thing about financial planning. Everybody always tells you that you're supposed to have a nest egg to retire on, right? The funny part about this is nobody can really actually explain to you how you're going to come up with that nest egg. You know why? Because it just doesn't add up when you're working for somebody else. You cannot make enough with the rate that costs are going up these days to actually save money. I hear this on a daily basis. The money going out is twice the amount of money coming in. Folks, if you want to really secure your future, you know what you need? You need a business that works for you 24/7. And what does that require? That requires technology. Because the beautiful part of machines is that they do not take breaks. They do not take lunch breaks. They do not take bathroom breaks. They work 24/7 so that you don't have to. And that's why an automated business is so critical to you and your family's future.
Absolutely. But let's get real, guys. This is not a get rich quick scheme. If it was, if those things were real and legitimate and worked, everybody would be doing them, right? Well, they don't. I mean, let's just face it. You guys, as well as us, have things popping up in our newsfeed just constantly. It's just loud. It's like noise almost. And so if that was the case, then everybody would be doing a get rich quick scheme. They don't exist. They're not real. Please do not fall for something like that. But I am going to tell you this. Now, our results that you guys are going to hear aren't typical, but we're not typical people. And what I really mean when I say that is every single one of us is an action taker. Every single one of us drew a line in the sand and said, you know what? Enough is enough. I am done with the boss. I'm done with the job. I'm done with the commute. I'm done with being told, when to show up, when to take lunch, this and that. And they all took action and learned how to make money online. That's what's atypical about us. And our system that you guys are learning about, hands down, proven to convert, which means making people money. You guys are the only variable, which is actually good news. I was the only variable. I had to show up to be able to my business, to be able to fire my boss in 6 weeks and 2 days.
Folks, the best part about you being the only variable in your success, what it really means is that now nobody can hold you back. Now nobody can pass you to be promoted before you. Now your boss doesn't get to dictate what your time is actually worth by giving you that measly amount of paper that they do every 2 weeks on that little piece of paper they call a pay stub. Now you get to actually be paid what you are worth, folks. There's no ceiling in the online world. You know why? Because everybody on the globe is moving online. Billions and billions of consumers in the online space. Imagine that. As a business owner, you can target all of those people. You're no longer limited by who can actually walk up to your storefront like it does in the physical world. This is how the results that we get are actually achieved, guys. It's because the online space is global, and that is the power of working online. And imagine walking into your boss tomorrow and saying, I'm sorry, guys, I found a better opportunity. It's finally for working for somebody who actually understands how important I really am. And that's myself. Guys, that is a very satisfying conversation to have. So if this is interesting, folks, then let's talk about how we can make this happen for each and every one of you. All right, let's get into the specifics of this. So I'm going to start us off with what I call the 3 pillars to any successful business. Whether you're online or offline, this has always kind of been the same in the business world. It boils down to basically finding a product that people want, coming up with a system to show them the value of what you're selling and why they should have it, and then ideally figuring out who the early adopters are in your market. And what I mean by early adopters are the people who need or want whatever you're selling the most. Those are the people that will pay the most in the shortest amount of time for it. All right. So in the online space, these work a little bit differently and they look a little bit unique. So Leanne and I are going to walk you through real quick here just how these look in the online space. So Lee, let's start them off with the first pillar.
Okay, before that, I want to say to, I think, Claudia, I think that's how I pronounce it. Yes, we are live. Okay, so let's talk about pillar number 1, finding a product that people want. Now, thanks to the internet, we can buy it literally anything, anywhere, any time of the world, right? So as the online market continues to develop, companies are trying to capitalize on this reality, and they're setting up referral programs that actually incentivize online marketers like ourselves to drive traffic to their products. Now, here's a few very well-known companies that have referral affiliate programs. You've got eBay, Walmart, Best Buy, Apple. I could go on and on and on, but I won't. And they're having a lot of success with them. They are. There's also companies called the middleman, and that's what we call affiliate networks. Some of these you may have never heard of, and that's okay. There's Max Bounty, ClickBank, ClickSure. Again, those are just a few. If you haven't heard of them, don't worry. It will not affect your success. I can promise you that. But I want to teach you a neat trick. So next time you go online to make a purchase, I want you to look up in the URL bar, and at the very end, if you see a series of letters and numbers, that's typically a code. And that means when you make that purchase, there's an online marketer on the other end getting paid a commission. And we just happen to have MRD right here at this link. This is an example. Those initials are what we want to be your initials.
And you know what, guys? There's basically 2 kinds of users on the internet these days. There's the people that are spending money, the everyday average consumer, and there's the people that are making money. Those are the business owners that own the shops that the consumers are shopping at. Those are your only 2 real breakdowns. What's our goal here tonight? Well, I'd like to make each and every one of you into somebody who's actually making money in the online space. That's my goal here tonight. So for those of you that are interested, guys, here's how we conquer that first pillar. We figure out first that product you're going to sell. This might mean you check out the retailers that you're already aware of, see if they've got an affiliate program in place, or if you think you might want to diversify, you could go check out these affiliate networks that Leanne has mentioned. Great starting point. Like she said, though, the affiliates are middlemen. Here's the thing, folks. Middlemen basically manage your relationships for you. So instead of you working directly with each and every retailer, they help you manage those relationships in exchange for a cut in your commissions. Nobody works for free, right? So naturally, you're going to make more money faster working directly with the retailers, but you're going to spend more time. So it's always a trade-off between time and money. But the beauty of this is that that is a decision that only gets to be made by the owner of the business. And that is what it really comes down to. You are now the owner of the business. You get to decide how this works and how this looks. All right, so that's the first pillar taken care of. Let's walk them through the second pillar, Leanne.
Okay, so let's talk about finding a way to tell people about your product. And I love talking about this because it comes down to what's called the sales funnel, which really comes down to attraction marketing. And not only can this be the most powerful tool that you have in your business, but I think I'm fascinated and in love with it because it's completely opposite of what Mike and I used to do in the corporate world, where we were doing cold callings, we were going to all these endless networking meetings. This has nothing to do with pressuring your family and friends or carrying around inventory and tinklets or whatever in your trunk or your garage. It has nothing to do with that. You're literally attracting people to whatever your product, service, or offer is, as opposed to chasing people down and pressuring them. Nobody likes that. I can tell you, it is a much more pleasant experience for both parties when nobody's pressuring anybody. Everybody's just trying to help find the solution to get to success.
Well, Leon, did you really just say tinklets?
I think you were
Amazing. Guys, in all seriousness, the thought of a sales funnel isn't a new concept. This has really been around for quite a while. As long as business has been around, there's been sales funnels. It's just been done a little differently. At the end of the day, somebody who first comes to you in business is always going to be a lead. They really don't know what they want or when they want it. They're just looking for information. Sometimes you might have heard these people called looky-loos or tire kickers, depending on how serious they actually are as a lead. But the trick in business is always to convert those leads to actually become buyers. That's how you get cash in the bank as a business, right? Now, back in the day, and Leanna's right, when we were in the corporate world, yeah, you had to have an army of sales agents to basically convert leads to buyers. And it took a lot of training, it took a lot of time, and it was something that was not for the faint of heart. That's why salespeople made as much as they did. But technology has made all of that redundant. And this, again, is one of those industries that's getting replaced by technology. Why? Well, because technology doesn't sleep. So now my systems will engage my leads for me all day long, whether I'm asleep or whether I'm awake, whether I'm at the beach or whether I'm at my desk. My leads are getting converted to buyers by my system, not me. What does that mean? It means that it happens 24/7, and it means that I don't have to do it. And it means that my overhead is nothing because the machines are doing it for me instead of me paying people to do it for me. So it's way more efficient, it's way more effective, and it costs a fraction of the cost. That's the power of technology. That's why everything is moving online. It's tough to compete with those kinds of realities, right? I'll be honest, folks. If you've got a system working for you behind the scenes like this, it's a little bit like printing money now in the online space, right, Lee?
Yeah, it absolutely is. And, we use this as a perfect example. Would you trade a $5 bill for a $100 bill? Well, yes, of course, everybody's going to say, yes, I would do that. Why would you even ask such a silly question? But this is a perfect example of what a sales funnel does for your business. And it's just like this elusive slot machine that Darren and Mike don't believe I'm really taking them to, but I am in Vegas, where every single time you put a dollar in and pull down that handle, the $100 is going to come flying out every single time. That's also an example of what a sales funnel does for your business. But let me say this. It cannot be any sales funnel. It must be a converting sales funnel. There's a difference. Converting means making money. It's been tested. Converting sales funnel.
We're probably starting to lose you guys because this is a lot of terminology. So let's go through this a little bit slow. I want to introduce to you what it takes to make a sales funnel because there's a lot of moving parts here, guys. Obviously, anything in the online space requires some technical skills because there's a bunch of coding that has to happen on the back end, right? But it's not just about making it, it's about making it look good because remember, we want to attract those early adopters, those people who need or want whatever we're selling the most, right? So now we're also talking about things like design experience and marketing skills coming into play. And what we identified really early on when we got into this whole racket was that we found that people very rarely had all three skill sets in place. They might have had one, they might have even had two, but very rarely did they have all three. And in all cases, they did not have the time to learn the third or second or whatever the case may be. And they certainly most often didn't have the resources because we're all overworked, we're all underpaid, and the corporate world is exhausting. And families are exhausting. And people are getting more overworked and more tired by the day. And so if we can alleviate that a little bit through automation and technology, then that's the key, right? Well, that's exactly what we did, folks. We built the system to remove all of these requirements from the equation. So now you can work online and you don't have to have technical knowledge. Now you don't need design experience. Now you do need marketing know-how. We've got it all built so that you can plug in and just simply make it working. Sound pretty good, right? Well, it's more than just a system. Any system is just a system. It's about making the system work for you, leveraging the system, if you will. And I know Leanne's going to talk about leverage here in a sec, but this is what this looks like, guys. You need to really, in order to make this thing work, have quality traffic coming to your business in the online space. And you need a system that is operating at maximum ability to really convert those leads to buyers. And with anything that's automated, it means that people will do it in their own time. which means you've got to keep them plugged in and interested long enough to convert themselves to becoming buyers. Now, the way you're going to do that is by keeping them engaged with whatever's relevant to them. It might be podcasts, it might be videos, it might be articles, whatever it is. It doesn't matter right now. It just keeps them there long enough so they can catch sight of your finish line. That space where your product or service or bit of information is that you're selling, so they can click on the button and buy. That is the key to everything. Keeping your leads engaged so they can convert themselves to buyers and making sure it's the right people in the first place. This is usually where solopreneurs go upside down because they just struggle with this process so much. And it's a lot to take on by yourself and learn. But this is what our training covers. And this is why our people get the results that they do in such a short amount of time. That is what saves them thousands of dollars. That is what saves them a whole head of gray hair. And in some cases, that is actually what has saved even a relationship or two. Because folks, this is stressful when you do it on your own. You don't want to do it on your own. Believe me that. All right. So that's enough about sales funnels. We could spend an entire night talking about them. Leanne, let's cover the most important pillar.
Okay, so let's talk about finding the right people to buy, which really comes down to traffic. Now, we've used that term quite a few times already. So what traffic in the online world means is just basically visitors to your website. Without traffic, nothing matters. Not that beautiful, shiny, converting, sexy sales funnel I keep talking about. Doesn't matter if you don't have traffic. It's just like, let's say, a shopping mall and you've got the stores and you may have the best sale going on. Well, if nobody's going to the mall, nobody's buying anything, so nothing matters, right? That's why in the online world, you've got to have traffic going to your funnel or nothing matters. Now, I'm going to throw another one in there for you. It can't be any traffic. It must be quality traffic. So converting sales funnel and quality traffic.
That's a big one, guys. It really is. Quality traffic is critical, folks. Another assumption I think that a lot of first-time business owners make is that all they need in order to be successful is a whole bunch of customers. Sounds pretty simple, right? Well, it could actually be your worst nightmare, because imagine you had a little mom and pop shop in that mall that Leanne is referencing. Imagine you have a tiny little business, and tomorrow, for some strange reason, out of the blue, you get 1,000 customers walk through the door. That all at once is a heck of a lot to manage, especially if you're not planning on them coming in. You're probably short-staffed, right? So it means, guess what? You're the business owner. You got to deal with everybody. Imagine dealing with 1,000 customers all at once. Now, I can actually make it even worse. Imagine, even though you're doing all that work, they're only each spending $1 with you. 1,000 customers, $1 each. You know what you're going to have at the end of the day? Well, yeah, you're going to have $1,000. However, you're also going to have probably a really upset employee, a lot of blisters on your feet, and probably you're going to have to go to the bathroom a lot because you haven't had time to do it all day. Folks, it is a ton to take on. And anybody who's ever been in the retail space understands exactly what I'm talking about. It is actually that ridiculous sometimes. So quality traffic would mean that you maybe have, instead of 1,000 customers coming through the door, you had, say, 2 customers coming through the door who, instead of spent $1 with you, spent $500 with you. Now, doesn't it sound a lot better to work with 2 customers to make $1,000 than 1,000? Of course it does. Now, here's the best part about quality traffic, folks. Once you, as a business owner, understand where to find quality traffic, you can find more. So now, instead of 2 customers, now you can find 1,000 customers. And guess what? This time you're going to be ready for them. And guess what? This time they're spending $500 with you. Suddenly now you're making $500,000 and it's 1,000 customers, which before was your nightmare, now is actually your reality. Folks, this is why quality traffic always trumps quantity, okay? Now, I know we got some newbies here tonight, so let's hit the pause button, folks. Let's do a real quick recap. In order to become successful, online or offline, you've got to first figure out what the offer is you're going to take to market, come up with a system to introduce it to that market, to show them the value of what you're offering and why they've got to have it, and figure out who needs or wants whatever you're selling the most. Now, in the online space, what we're going to do is we're going to automate that whole process for you. That means it works faster and gets bigger results that much quicker. This is the key to everything, guys. And the beauty of this, at the root of it, sales has always come down to one very important point. All you're really doing is helping people. Everybody has a pain point. What is their pain point? How can you help? The beauty of this question is that it is going to guide you to financial freedom. Do you really think that if somebody really needs something that they're not willing to pay for it? Of course they are. And the more they need it, the more they're willing to pay for it. And the beauty of that is you can actually track how many people you've helped by the amount of money in your bank account. Business is nothing evil. There's nothing sinister, folks. It's just about giving people what they want and actually getting compensated for it in exchange. And let's use each and every one of you as a prime example, because I know you're all here because you're looking for the same things. You're all here tonight because you're looking for more time and money, right? Well, everybody is who's working in the 9-to-5 space, guys. Don't be embarrassed. It's just the way things are these days. It only makes sense that when you land on a website that's offering you a chance to come to a free webinar that's going to show you how you can stop stressing about your bills and live and travel on your own terms and get out of that 9-to-5 grind that is bleeding your bank account dry, it makes sense. It's going to catch your attention, right? It makes sense that you're going to go to that free webinar. Of course it does. We're all here right now, right? All we did was we asked you, what are you looking for? And we provided you the solution, folks. It's exactly the same thing as what I'm talking about. And in fact, that model is exactly the same as what every single successful online business is using these days. They're finding out what people want and they're providing it. It really is that easy at the base of it.
And now you guys know the exact 2-step, 3-step system to success that people are using that are making 6 and 7 figures per month or year online. And I say per month because we've got quite a few that are, and there is no limit. There's no cap on your income. You're the only variable. You're the boss. You get to decide how much you want to make. And you could do this all on your own if you chose to. However, there's going to be 2 really big problems. For one, it takes countless hours just to figure out what software systems you need to pull together and to get them basically to connect so that they begin to convert so you can start making money. But at the same time, it's extremely expensive to pay for all these software systems because then you've got to test it. And that gets expensive. So it's time and it's costly. And this is just to set it up. So we threw some numbers together to give you kind of an idea. So just to set it up, if you're going to do this on your own, you need ClickFunnels, which is $3,600, Infusionsoft, $7,200, ClickMagick, $9,600, Easy Webinar, $1,200, conservatively $22,000 just to set it up on your own. That's just to set it up, not to continue to run it. But the good news is you don't have to do this on your own. We literally can save you the time, the stress, the headache by doing the heavy lifting for you by plugging into our automated online system. And you know what it comes down to? Mike already gave you a little hint. Leverage. One of my favorite words because it really just means working smarter, not harder. And if you've heard of Robert Kiyosaki, love him. He wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad back in 1997 and made a killing off of that book. And since that time, he's had radio shows and he's done quite a few things, but he's added co-authors to this same book. And he basically refurbished the same book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, with these co-authors, and made a killing. You think he put in 80 hours a week every single week to put this book out, to publish it? Absolutely not. He did not reinvent the wheel. He leveraged what he already created. He was working smarter, not harder. That's what I'm talking about.
You know what, folks? This is kind of an education that the wealthy families give that I think the rest of us don't get. I mean, when I was a kid, I was taught that if you want something in life, you got to work hard for it. And if you didn't get it, you got to work harder to get it. And this is kind of a myth that I think was ingrained to most of us. The wealthiest people, though, what they teach their kids is actually much different. What they teach their kids is actually the polar opposite. Don't work hard, work smart. And don't look to create something from scratch if there's something out there that's working perfectly well that you can make work even better. Folks, find what's out there and leverage it to make it work for you, because then you're not starting at ground zero. That's the key to everything. And that's exactly what Leanne's talking about here. And what we're really saying tonight is, well, leverage us. I mean, we've got a community of people that are working with us that are leveraging this system, a community that spans the entire globe. Now, the beauty of this is that when you plug into this, you get tapped into that knowledge and experience, and you can start making the same kinds of commissions that we are. And the best part about this system, guys, is really the fact that you don't have to do the selling. I get it. You don't want to be a pushy salesperson. Nobody does. I don't either, and I come from a sales background. It's okay. That's why we built the system the way we did. It sells for you. There is no pushing. There is no convincing. This is as easy as it gets, guys. And the reason that our people see the success they do is really because we've done the foundation work for you. I mean, right from day one, we went out, we identified the products that were making people the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time. We built them into this. And then we continue, actually, even to this day, to look at all of the systems and all of the technology that's out there, and we rip it apart and we build it into our own systems. And this combination of technology is really what powers our platform. This is what powers our businesses. You don't need to worry about this because we do. And the best part about this is, of course, the training. The training that we've seen out there just isn't good enough. So we've gone out and we've built our own. Things change on a daily basis in the online space. And what I find so incredible is that there's all of these programs out there that are charging people thousands and thousands of dollars to teach you how to use social media to advertise on, and that hasn't been updated for over a year. Well, I don't know about you guys, but my Facebook has changed about 12 times in the last 2 months. So it only makes sense that the training has to be updated as often as the platforms you're using, right? That's why we built our own. That's why we take care of the updating ourselves. And the best part about this, guys, is truly the automation that's been built into this. Now you're on a system, you're making the system work for you, the products are making you money, and all of this is buzzing along 24/7. Whether you're sleeping, eating, at the beach, or watching your kids' hockey game, your business is working for you behind the scenes. So, guys, it really boils down to one question now that we got to ask you to ask yourselves, really.
It does. It's 3 little words. 3 little words. Only you can answer this. Are you ready? Are you ready to figure out how you can plug into an online system that is creating massive success and results for people and allowing them to create their own dream lifestyle? But the 3 little words, are you ready, are really big words. And if the answer is yes, and I want you to answer this just personally, quietly, you don't have to tell anybody. The answer is yes. I want you to listen very closely so Mike can break this down and show you exactly how this works for you.
All right, guys. So here's the thing. When you join our team, this is all you get. You get, number one, personal coaching and mentoring. Now, this is critical because if you're like most of the people we work with, you probably have never owned an online business before, much less even a business. And that's okay. We've got the coaching built into this and the mentoring. In fact, every single person who joins our community actually gets a mentor assigned to them so that right from day one, you've got somebody who's a point of contact that you can reach out to. Just more than anything to make sure you've got everything you need and you don't fall between the cracks. Now, don't forget though, I mentioned that community aspect. You get plugged into a community of mentors, probably the most supportive, collaborative group you will ever be part of in this world. I'm going to talk about that as we go through this presentation. You're going to hear about that a lot. And the weekly masterminds are going to be what keep you on top of your A game. We hold a ton of masterminds. We hold one on Tuesdays for the newbies. It's a really, really valuable series that answers everybody's most common questions. They're held live, so you can bring your own questions. And then on Wednesdays, we also hold live webinars for the more advanced players, and we cover all kinds of topics, everything from self-development and personal growth up to proper advertising and business techniques and strategies. It's all in there to keep you on top of your A game and to make sure that you're plugged into everything you need to stay on top of it. Now, let me talk about the training a little bit. I'll come back to this again too, but Facebook is where we start everybody off. And we train you through a series of little video snippets, really short, bite-sized information segments where you can watch a video while you're doing the work. Quick, painless, to the point, and very effective. All of this pulls together so well, so effectively though, because of the products. There's a lot of programs out there that you can plug into to get training. Not all of them have mentorship. Most of them don't have products. So what happens? Well, you're left to your own devices. You're left to figure everything out on your own still. Great. You've downloaded a PDF document that's got some tips on it to learn how to advertise online. Now what do? Well, you're lost. So that's why we've put together all the pillars here for you. You've got the systems, you've got the training, you've got the products, and you've got the mentorship. This is how you get results. This is how you get the kinds of commissions we do, where we're making $5,000 up to a first sale. This is how this system closed out $1 million in revenue in the first 30 days we went live alone. That's how powerful this is, guys. And I use that number because I want you to know the first 30 days of any business are always the smallest. Here we are 3 years later. This thing has absolutely exploded. So if $1 million is our baseline, just imagine where we're at today, guys. That's how powerful this is. Now, let me get into details here. When I say personal coaching, we actually are going to get on the phone with you, just like we do with every single person that joins us, so that we can have a one-on-one conversation. It boils down to this, folks. If we are really going to help you achieve your hopes and your goals and your dreams, we should probably go to the effort of finding out what they are in the first place, right? Of course. And how else in the world could we possibly help you if we don't do this? Now, that is exactly why we talk to every single person. Now, in terms of your resource access and the community, well, the best part about this, guys, is because you're surrounded by this whole global community, if you ever get stuck, now you've got a community that has your back and can help you get unstuck. And if you ever have questions, all of the information you need is at your fingertips because it's all stored in one central member website. Everybody on our platform has equal access to everything. It's about as transparent as you can make it. And we've built it this way because I don't want you to ever worry about what country you live in or what time zone you find yourself in. You need to know that all of the information you will need and require is always at your fingertips. And it is. Everybody has access to all of our information. Even our weekly masterminds, guys, we record those, store them in that member website so that you can have access to those as well whenever you need. And I really do, I want to talk a little bit about Facebook as well, because I do believe that it is still the best marketing vehicle out there. Nothing has the user base that Facebook does. Nothing allows you to engage your leads like Facebook does. I mean, there's billions of people logging into Facebook on a daily basis, folks. If you're not doing business on Facebook, you're literally leaving money on the table. It's that simple. And what I love about Facebook too, putting all of that aside, is that you're probably one of those couple billion people on Facebook every day. And even if all you're doing is keeping in touch with friends and family, and heck, maybe even, let's be honest, watching the odd cat video here and there, that's okay, because you know what that means? That means you've got a comfort level with the platform. That means you know where the buttons are. And that means you're going to have a little bit more courage to just get through the training that much faster and get up to speed and running with your business that much quicker. What I mean by that is really seeing results that much faster, right? And keep in mind, you get a mentor. You get a community of mentors. I don't know any other program that offers mentorship on the level that we do. This is why our people succeed, because we don't abandon our people. You know, if you decide to ditch out on your business, that's your business. But I can promise you this, we don't ditch out on you. And that's critical. You know, you are the variable to your success. The reason that Leanne said it that way was that you are the only variable is really because we've got your back. I don't doubt us. I know we'll be there for you. The question is, are you going to be there for you? And if you are open and willing to learn, and you are coachable, and you're willing to step up and put yourself into a different kind of situation and do something different, how in the world could this not possibly succeed for you? Guys, mentorship is everything. You need a community that's got your back. You need to have mentors who know about the systems you're using. You need to have mentors who are familiar with the industry you're trying to tap into. This is how you succeed if you seriously want to get there. Well, Leanne, I know you must have something you're dying to say about mentorship as well. Why don't you hop in here and interrupt me?
And that was very well said, I have to say. But yes, mentorship is very close to my heart because I know how important it is. And I've done countless coaching calls with people who have unfortunately been promised mentorship and suddenly they disappeared. The mentor doesn't happen here. When you're assigned a mentor, you're stuck with your mentor, unless, like Mike said, you decide to leave the business. But if you've ever heard the saying, you are the sum of the five of the people you spend the most time with, think about that. Who do you spend the most time with? If let's say you're the boss, you own your own online business. You're surrounded by your mentor who has paved the way, who has had success and results, who can tell you what not to do, and can tell you what has worked for him or her. And you're surrounded by a community of other online business owners that are on the same path, the same journey to success. creating their dream lifestyles. You are the sum of 5 and more parts when you join our community. But moving on, you guys are getting the exact same system that I used to fire my boss in 6 weeks and 2 days, that everybody on this webinar and in our entire community is using to either quit their jobs or create whatever that dream lifestyle looks like for them, because it looks different for everybody. And again, why would you want to do it on your own? I threw out those numbers conservatively, and I say that conservatively, $22,000 just to set it up on your own, just to set it up, not to run it. So that does not include the tens of thousands of dollars that we put into our training site. You guys are going to have access to. That does not include the bi-weekly masterminds you're going to have access to. That does not include the mentorship. If you were going to go hire one, that's going to cost you about $450 an hour. And that does not include the support from the business groups and the other online business owners that actually become your friends. You become very close to them. There's nothing like it. It doesn't include it. So you don't have to do it alone. And we promised you guys that we were going to save you money and stress. So we're offering this to you for a one-time membership fee of $149 only.
Folks, please hear me now. These are very important words. This is a one-time membership fee. We are not interested in gouging you on a monthly basis. And I know this is always the first question Darren gets in the chat roll. Guys, this is literally your one-time backstage pass to changing your future. It's that simple. I can promise you this, the best $149 you'll ever spend in your life. And here's what you need to do next. You'll notice I've just triggered the offer. There's a button that's hopped up. It's probably just below or just above your chat roll. And you'll notice what it says. It says, join our team. That is exactly the offer that we're extending you. We're offering you the chance to join a team of proven professionals that are having success in the online space, because we can help you do the same. Now, tonight's webinar was meant more than anything to really introduce you to the online space, things you need to consider, and to introduce our system to you so that you could consider working on it, and also us, so you could consider working with us. For those of you that are ready to take things to the next step and you like what you've seen so far, click this button, because this is what's going to walk you through everything in detail and help us all avoid being here for another 5 hours. Because what you're going to get now is a series of videos that walk you through everything in depth. This is the meat and potatoes you're looking for, guys, because here are all of the systems. Here is exactly what the products are and how the commissions pay out. Here are the strategies that even our most successful people have perfected over the years to get the biggest results in their business. All of it comes to you in the series of these videos, because what we've always been told is people want to watch these not just by themselves. They want to watch it with their spouse, with their kids maybe. They want to get ideas from people who are important to them, and they want to see what other people think. That's okay. Now you can do it. And of course, now you can watch them from the comfort of your own home. And a lot of people, I'll be honest, tell me they've watched these videos at least 3 times. This is important stuff, folks. This is life-changing stuff. So I want you to take your time, and I want you to enjoy these videos stress-free. Now, while you're watching those videos, we'll also go ahead behind the scenes. We'll add you to our community. This is a secret Facebook group that only people who click on that golden button get to join. And this is the community that we are just so darn proud of. We add you to the community right from the get-go because I want you to see that we're real people. We are real people from all parts of the world. Real people that are just like you, that are running a real business and getting real results. And then once you've checked out your videos, you've done your due diligence, then comes the most important part. Then you schedule that phone call. This is that one-on-one coaching call where we get on the phone with you, we find out where it is you want this business to take you, and we help you actually get there. We create a game plan just for you. And I say this all with such certainty, guys, because you have to understand, we haven't been doing this for a minute. We've been doing this for years. And we have helped thousands of people now before you. And our pride is in the fact that we have got so many people that are job quitters, so many people that are finally waking up to their potential and are helping other people do the same. This isn't a business. This is a movement at this part. At this point, so many people are helping other people actually get to the point in their lives where they are enjoying their time with their families stress-free. This is what it's all about. I don't know anything else in the online space that's like this, guys. If there was anything else that was like this, we would have partnered with them by now or plugged them into this system. It's not there. It's that simple. It's still kind of like the wild, wild west out there. In some ways, you know, the world will always have those people that make money by taking advantage of people. In some ways, the online space just makes it even easier for them. And we want this to be uniquely different. We want you to get that right away. We're real people, and we're just here to help. We're here to provide the transparency and the respect and the kind of communication that is required for people to really be successful in their business. That's why this thing has been built the way it has. That's why this thing works the way it does. So for those of you that are ready, guys, I hope you're starting to see just how powerful this can be for you and your family. And keep in mind, you don't have to be a tech guru. You don't have to have a business background. All you have to be is open and willing to learn. Be coachable. And that alone will save you a lot of money and a lot of time. I can promise you that. And just imagine the possibilities. Imagine being a job quitter using this system, guys. That is the power of this possibility. And it all starts with this button. And I'm going to ask you one question before I turn it over to Leanne again. If $149 can change your life, isn't it worth it? I got to think you think it does, guys. Leanne, let's walk them through everything they get for the money. Just one more time, please.
Okay, absolutely. So your one-time $149 investment gets you access to the Sleeping Giant products that pay those huge commissions that we talked about at the beginning, advanced Facebook advertising training, access to our bi-weekly masterminds, our ongoing mentorship because we really don't go away, our automated business system. And on top of that, you guys also get your very own branded sales funnel. It's already been tested and it's converting. And remember, that is the secret sauce to people that are making 6 and 7 figures per month or year. But a branded sales funnel is special. It is unique. A branded sales funnel is just that. It's branded to you. It's like handing over a personalized franchise to you. Everything about it is yours. It's got your name, your photo. You're the only variable. You just need to show up with the keys, which means push the button, join the team, basically. It gets better than this. It gets even better than this because, like Mike said, as soon as you push that button, join our team, we're going to send you all the videos. We're going to be plugging you into our private community. But you also get a full 30 days, no risk, to go through the videos as many times as you want with whomever you want. And we encourage that. We want you to understand the business system and the business model and the commission structure. It's going to blow your minds off. You will be blown away. If for some reason during that 30 days, now it doesn't happen very often, but if for some reason you decide, well, I guess, I don't know, it's just not for me, ask for your $149 back. No big deal. We'd be happy to give it back to you because we are looking to work with the serious action takers. And I tell you this, we do this for you guys, but we do it for ourselves as well because we don't work with just everybody. We don't work with just anybody. We don't work with everybody that wants to work with us. We want to work with people that are serious and that are action takers. Now, the other caveat to the refund policy is after you've had the coaching call, at that point, it definitely becomes non-refundable because as a coach, we've gotten on the phone with you. We've already talked about, okay, where are you in your life? We've identified where are you? How did you get here? What's going on in your life? What are your goals? And we create a personalized strategic plan that's going to get you there as quickly as possible. Our goal as coaches is to set you up for success so that you can leave a legacy and build a successful business that is lifelong, long-term. This isn't about dipping your toe in the water and just testing it out. This is a lifelong business that will change your life. And before I turn it back over to Mike, and you hear from all these wonderful, beautiful people that are next to me, I think they're next to me right now. Can you hear me?
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Leanne. All right, folks. So now's the fun part. Now we're going to get to the point where you actually get to hear from some of these beautiful people. This is where you hear from the people actually using this system. So we're going to start at one end and we're going to work our way down. And I am going to, let's see, I've got a ton of tiny little thumbnails to look at down here. Let me see if I can find Nizreen, and we'll start off with her and we'll just work our way down the list. All right, there we go, Niz.
Hey, oh, great, awesome. I guess you can hear me now. I just saw the thing move. Awesome, welcome everybody. I've been fiddling with this light. You probably saw me doing that just because I just got this from Amazon a few weeks ago, and it's kind of blinding, but it does the trick. So welcome. I live in Vancouver, and yes, we've exploded globally. The intention when we started this, you know, I've been a part of the community for 2.5 years, was to be global, but then when it actually starts happening and you are working with people and having coaching calls and you know, working alongside people that are in a completely different time zone, it's really mind-blowing, even still to me. I love it. The reason why I started my business was, quite frankly, I was very exhausted and very tired from the industry that I had been a part of for so long. You know, we all do different jobs or come from different industries. For me, it was hospitality, and it was me as a server. I'd worked in restaurants and bars and hotels for 23 years. And so, you know, it's one of those things where I didn't go to, I mean, I went to college, but I didn't really graduate with anything substantial. I just kind of did it just to kind of see what I wanted to do with my life. And I was just like, okay, that education's done. But as far as skills, I didn't have any. I didn't have any to actually put to use in terms of to make money. So when I got into the, you know, restaurant business, I heard, I was actually just working retail, and I had heard that, oh, you can actually make better money doing restaurant work, and you can make tips and whatnot. And when I was 19 years old, that worked, obviously. I mean, to make a couple $100 in tips a night, that's really awesome. And then, you know, I worked my way up the ranks, and I was, you know, walking most nights with $200 to $300. And that was the trap for me, because here I was I didn't have any skills to use in any other way. And, you know, my logic said, well, what am I going to do? Quit so that I can go back to school, not make money while I'm studying, only to get certification in a job that's going to actually pay me less. It didn't really make sense. So I just kind of I found myself stuck in this position. And I was like, well, I don't know. I guess I'm just going to be one of those career servers. And I didn't really want to be. I'm 44 now. And when I started my business, I was 42, I guess. And I just, at a certain point, I just was enough. I'm done. I was working nights. I was working days. You know, been micromanaged. I was running off my feet. Most of the time, I would not have a break. You know, talking about automation and computers, they don't take a break. Well, unfortunately, sometimes humans don't get a chance to either. But so anyway, that was the reason why. And because I'm a professional actor as well, not to the point where it's like I'm not anybody important by any means. I'm just simply a person who loves acting for TV and film, and I've made my career out of it. But the problem with that industry, not problem, but the challenge is that it's very feast and famine. It's very up and down. You know, it's very rare for an actor to actually be working steadily. It's, you know, you get a gig, you're on set for however many days, and then that gig is done, and then you're not employed anymore. So how are you going to, you know, feed yourself and pay your rent and all of that stuff? That is the reason why so many actors work in restaurants. They bartend, they serve, and that's the reason why. So for me, I wanted the flexibility to pursue my career properly and with, you know, ownership of my time, and also in a way that gave me more joy, because there's one thing to actually go after, you know, that kind of an industry with the pressure of I need it to pay my bills, as opposed to just I just get to enjoy it because I genuinely love it. And in the meantime, I've got my business that actually pays my bills and allows me to save money and pay off debt and do all the things in my life that I want to do. And that was why I wanted to do this, because I needed to find a way to own my time. so that I could leave that industry that I'd been a part of for over 2 decades. And I was so exhausted. So with this business, I was able to do that 9 months. Did I know I was going to do it in 9 months? No, but I was determined. I knew, just like you, I was really kind of, I don't know. I need to find answers. Is this a fit for me? And then as soon as I kind of got the full picture, I was like, oh yes, this is it. And I'm going to make it work no matter what. And the truth is about this whole system is that it's an equal opportunity for everybody. Like Mike already said, you know, like the resources, they're same for you that are going to be that are the same for me. There's no difference. You and I would have the same 24 hours in a day. So of whether or not it works, that's not the issue. It's not a matter of if it works. It's a matter of when it's going to work and how it's going to work for you, because you have the same 24 hours in a day as I do. But the question is, what kind of, you know, ambition are you going to bring and that kind of thing. For me, I was like, there's no question that this is going to work for me, because my drive was coming from, I don't want to be serving again and again. So in 9 months, I was able to do it. And I had 3 jobs when I started this business. They were all part-time, night job, a day job, and an on-call job as well. And one by one, I was able to get rid of them all. And it was absolutely incredible. My first goal was to make $5,000 a month. And so by 9 months, I was able to do that. And then of course it's progressive, so it grows, right? So by 14 months, I was making $10,000 a month, and it continues to grow from that. And it's mathematics. And I know you guys don't know the full business model yet, but you're going to learn it. And it's just a simple matter of mathematics. It's not a matter of rocket science at all. If you're willing to learn, then the system is there for you, and the training and the support and everything that you need. Yeah, it's been an incredible ride. I'm a coach, and I love being a coach. I love helping people. Like I said, working with people from all over. I have a skeptical husband, or I did when I started, and he's like one of my biggest cheerleaders now. And he's so incredible. He doesn't do the business with me, but he watches me when I'm on my coaching calls, and he gets to, you know, join in the ride, because he gets to, you know, receive some of that money too, right? I've had some really big days. Like, you know, we love to travel. That's another reason why I do it too, because I want that freedom, right? We've taken, I think it's like 4 or 5 trips now so far this year. I mean, we're already in November. Our most recent one was in Maui, our second time there for about a week and a half. And I made something like just over $7,000 before we left. And then I made another something like $6,000 or $7,000 while we were on vacation. To date, my biggest day has been $8,000. And this is all like way more than I ever would have made, you know, hauling my butt, you know, breaking my back for the 3 jobs that I used to have. You know, I have elderly parents, like a lot of us do, and they don't have the resources. So I'm there to help them, obviously. My mom just had a heart attack when she was on a trip that I paid for her to go see her family in Lebanon. And that's scary stuff. She's never had that before. And the fact that she could be around all of her family that she doesn't get to see on a regular basis and get really good, you know, medical care in Beirut is so that it was scary not being with her, but it was also, I was like, okay, at least I know she's around people that love her, and that's the main thing. And, you know, life is short, guys. You're here for a reason, right? And you need the system. If you're here because you want to learn how to leverage the internet, the reason why you need this system is because without it, and like we've already said, there's a lot of moving parts. You don't have to be technical to actually understand them all, but just understanding the concept, like we've already laid out, there's a lot of moving parts here because it needs to be that way. If you had just a website, it's not enough. If you have just a page on Facebook, guess what? It's not enough, because you need everything together to leverage the whole volume of stuff coming through your business. It would be like being the best, you know, cyclist that you could be, but taking that bicycle and trying to hit the highway with it. No. You need a sports car with the engine of all those moving parts working for you, and that's what this system is. So we're going to be there to help you, to teach you, to guide you, hold your hand if you need to, because most of us coming to this in the beginning, we never knew anything about it. We all had to learn it just like you will. So congrats to anyone that's already started and jumped on board. That's super exciting. Who said that? Ramanjeet, yes. Yeah, 2 jobs a day. See, there's a lot of people working their butts off, right? So hard. You don't need to do that. you can just have the freedom that is there. It's not in the 1950s anymore, guys. You know, we're coming up on 2020 here. So it's not anything new. So you're here. That's awesome. You're connected already. So we'll see you on the other side. Thanks, Mike.
Awesome. Thank you, Nazreen. Let's see. What do we get Rebecca and Boyd on here next? Over to you guys.
No, he's got it.
Hi, everybody. We are coming at you from Vancouver Island, and this is a place that we got to move to thanks to this business. It had always been a dream destination for us. We are originally from Alberta, and it gets pretty cold in the winter there, and we were done with that. So when we started this business, it was 20 months ago, and we were in Alberta then, and we started 1 week before our son was born. He is absolutely the major driving force in what made us make a change in our lives. We used to bring him on here with us. Oh, it's really bright. Oh, there you go. But now he's almost 2, and so he doesn't just sit on our lap like he did when he was a baby.
No, he'll be typing to you.
He's pretty wild. We have so much fun with him. And yeah, I mean, 1 week before he was born, we started this business because we knew we needed to replace my income for sure. I was a registered massage therapist, wasn't going to be able to do that anymore. So that was our initial goal. And then long term, we wanted to replace Boyd's income as well, because, you know, probably like every one of you who's watching this, we wanted time to spend together, to spend as a family, to do the things that are important in life. And we didn't want to have a regular daily grind dictating, you know, what we could do. And also we didn't want to leave our son in somebody else's care, right? We wanted to have control over that. So this business has been the biggest blessing for us. Honestly, it was like winning the lottery when we found the system. And every one of you who's watching here tonight, you honestly bought the winning lottery ticket tonight.
Right.
If you take action, it's right there. Absolutely. We replaced and surpassed our household family income.
That's 2 incomes.
Yeah, by month 7, this business had replaced that. That was our first 5-figure income month, meaning over $10,000. And every month since then has been 5 figures. And they're growing. It's getting bigger and bigger as time goes by. Last month, we made more from this business in that 1 month than I used to make working for an entire year full-time as a registered massage therapist. Now that is life-changing, right?
That's mind-blowing.
Yeah, we're so grateful, so grateful. And when we started this business, we didn't have a clue about anything online. We knew that people were making money online because you hear about it. And we always wondered, well, what are they doing? Like, it's got to, you know, what are they doing? Can we do it? So when we found the system, we knew that this was the one for us because everything was already in place. We could just plug into it. The training was there, the mentorship, all the support that everybody's been talking about. It really is there. And you're really not alone. And it's incredible journey. I'm going to let Boyd talk a little bit now about his experience.
So a little bit about myself. I was raised to work hard. My dad was always saying, you know, the harder you work, you know, the better off you're going to be. And so, you know, he ingrained that into me right from like when I was 9 years old. You know, work, work, work. And it served me very, very well. I applied that to everything I did in life for many, many years. Some of the things that caused, though, was for me to miss out on the lives of my children. I have some grown children, and you know, there's a lot of regrets there because I missed so much of their lives because I was always working, you know, 12, 13, 14, 16 hours a day. I worked from in the factory. I worked from a laborer up into senior management. And I'm thinking, as I get into management, life will become a little bit easier. It's definitely not easier, and you actually start working harder for less money. And you get off. Sure, I got off on good behavior. I get 5 or 6 weeks of holidays every month or every year. It's like being in jail. You get on parole. That's what you get for every year, once a year. When I found this, when we found this system, it was a whole change in my mindset, because I actually had to learn not to work so hard. That's quite the concept.
It's true.
It is, yeah. I got to learn how to enjoy life. I get to spend every day with Caden. Some of the things that I missed before, I'm enjoying now and experiencing now. You can't put a price tag on that. That's what this has done for me, for us. One of my friends, my close friends, he's a doctor, and he started watching. He's seen the changes in me, and he wanted to know what was going on in my life. Like, what are you doing? What's happening? So I shared our story, Rebecca's story, my story, and he kept on watching, and he's like, you know what? He says, this is crazy. He said, I went to university for years to become a doctor, and you're making more money than I am now. So needless to say, he's doing the business as well with it. And yeah, I'm just going to finish this off with a couple of things here. There's a reason that you're here. There's a reason you're sitting watching this right now. Whether it's divine intervention, whatever it may be. Each one of you have a why you're here, what you're looking for. And I can almost guarantee, as you watch the testimonies and the experiences of the people in front of you here, one of their stories is going to resonate with you. And the $149, that's a movie out, take a date out. That's nothing. In reality, that's nothing. And it's a 30-day money back guarantee. So don't let this pass. You have that winning lottery ticket in front of you. This is something you don't want to miss out on. And I'm speaking from experience, definitely. I get to enjoy life, and I'm free. Like I'm free. I don't work for somebody else now. And
fun every day.
Yeah, fun every day. Absolutely. Yeah. So I think, Darren, I think that's going to be it for me, unless you have anything else to say.
No, I'm good. We'll be happy to welcome you all on the other side.
Absolutely. Have a good one, guys.
Awesome. Thank you, folks. Truer words were never spoken. Elena, let's get you on here next.
Can you hear me?
Yep, you're good.
Hi guys, I'm Elena. I am from Vancouver Island too. And I am born and raised from the Philippines and been in this country for many years. I'm a mother of 2 beautiful children. Our daughter now, I should say our daughter now is now 19 and in university. And our son is 15 and a very, very active 15 years old who plays sports. Actually just left with my husband. That's why my husband is not here tonight. Like I said, I'm from the Philippines, mabuhay po. There is a lot of reason. I could come up with many reasons why we are looking for a change. Raising 2 children who, they're so demanding with things that they need, not even things that they want. And I am not young anymore. My husband is not young anymore. I wish he could retire, and me too. I was getting, life is getting so hectic and so busy and expensive. We've been working. My husband has been working so much away from home in Alberta, like 9 months in a year, and leaving me raising our 2 children, holding the household, working full time. And I don't know how to do it anymore. I'm getting into depression because I'm getting so sad. I don't know how to hold my life anymore. And So one day I'm not sleeping. I'm a worry ward. So I worried about every single things and where the bills is going to come. The next pay, how am I going to buy my son's clothes because he needs to play soccer and basketball, and the tuition fee and the car for my daughter, and it never ends. I have older mom and dad in the Philippines that I would like to visit one day, and I know it's not possible. Nothing is possible. We couldn't go for the holidays because nothing, it's not enough. Working 16 hours, there's nothing for our retirement. We're not putting away for any rainy days. And one day I was sitting, I was crying, I was praying, and found my mentor and my coach had, and it's just like the prayer was answered for me. And when I clicked the link, I didn't know what to do. I couldn't, I said, this is hard to believe, but 3 times I saw their ad and I said, maybe this is the signs because I prayed so hard for something. That has to be something for me. My health is taking a toll. I've been, my knees, my legs has been painful for many months, and I am doing full-time job. I'm doing this for part-time right now. So when I found the system, when I clicked that ad of my mentor, I told my mentor that, I am not ready right now, but I don't want to lose you. So after the new year, I emailed them back, and I was so thankful they were still there. And they said, yeah, you can start anytime. The best 90 minutes of my time watching the video, and the best 149 that I spent to change our life. The training is second to none. People from the get-go, I was reaching for so much help, and every people that I message, they're always there for me. And I thank you guys. I know you guys are watching. Thank you guys from the bottom of my heart from being there. The community is so amazing. The integrity, the kindness of every one of you. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I started the training step by step. No one will be left behind because there's so much help right now. This is globally. And I didn't realize that I can find myself again. I can smile again instead of crying and be grumpy and yelling. If my husband will be here right now, you know what he is going to say? He's not scared to go home anymore. He used to be scared to go home because all he hears is me, Mama Cruz, yelling. Because why? I am scared because I don't know where to get the next, money to pay my bills. That's how hard it was. And finding the system and plugging to this system and starting the business, my first month, like, oh, wow, I have the $500. How did this happen? Second month, $1,200. And the biggest month is $8,000. I mean, I didn't realize this is even possible. And my husband is much happier. He said he can come home now without even scared. And, now we're talking about retirement. We're talking about vacation, and our focus now, and our biggest why is our children, in university. And how can she even drive the car if we have no money to support her for insurance, for the gas, and the tuition fee for her, and the fee for the athletics fee, all the shoes that he needed to buy because he's growing boy. I just ordered actually $200 worth shoes online 2 days ago. And it's also one thing, it was being your own boss, it's so empowering. I don't have to ask my boss when my kids is sick that day. I have to beg them for time off. And now I am my own boss, and I'm so happy, much happier. And my household is like, no more Mama Cruz who's yelling. Mama Cruz now is just dancing, smiling, happier. And for all of you out there, you made it this far. Do not wait, because if I am getting this result from being, my husband was so skeptical, and he did his due diligence and didn't find anything. And after 2 days, he said, let's do this. So now we're doing it together. We're still working full time. And the training, I don't have to do it 2 to 3 hours a day. I can do it anytime because I have the training. It's given to me, so I can take my time. And it's step by step. It's nothing to worry. There's so much help out there. So I think that's all I'm going to say tonight, because you guys, 149 is the best investment we ever spent in our life. So don't wait too long. That's all I can say. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Awesome. Thank you, Elena. All right, let's get Dee and David on here next. Over to you, folks.
Aha!
Oh, hello.
Hello from lovely England. How are you doing?
So we are, as Di says, we're down in the south of England, just outside of London, a very expensive place to live.
Oh, yes.
And I am, in 3 months' time, I will be 60 years old. Hard to believe, I know. But so about a year or so ago, I started thinking about looking at my pension and thinking, wow, this just isn't going to pay the bills to live in a place like we do. So I was looking online and found this, watched the webinar about 5 times, I think. Even though it's in the middle of the night here, I watched 2 of them live and another 3 or 4 on the replay. And then jumped in. And we went through the training in about, 2-3 weeks, possibly.
2-3 weeks, yeah.
And then within 2 weeks of that, we got on. Incredible. We didn't expect anything that fast. We have gone on to change our lives in that throughout the summer, we love music festivals. That's what we do for fun. And so we go away and for instance, we were at Glastonbury, the big one. And we were there for about 6 days. And
most people go on the Friday, don't they? And come back on the Sunday night. We went on the Tuesday and stayed
till the Monday.
Days. Yeah.
And the incredible thing about that was while we were having all the fun of Glastonbury, our money brought in business. Now, I've been plumbing for 40 years. My plumbing business that week brought in nothing at all because I wasn't there to do it. But with this business, I didn't need to be there. It was working anyway. So it's incredible. And the other thing, which I really love these days, is that my Sunday nights are so much better because I don't have to set the Monday morning alarm to get up to join the traffic. And that's how it's changed me. It's fantastic. And the other thing I really was looking for was because Diana's quite a bit younger than me, I didn't want her to have the responsibility of supporting me when I was no longer working. So this now is going to set us up completely for the future. I'll let Di talk a little bit now.
Yeah. So as Dave said, we've got an age difference between us. And I was saying to one of our friends, so when Dave retires, I'm going to retire. And they said, oh no, I think you'll find it doesn't work like that. And I said, oh no, I think you'll find that it does. Yeah. I think that it does. If you've got the right business vehicle, then there's absolutely no reason why not. And this was certainly brought home to us only a few months ago. Dave phoned me up in a bit of shock from the building site that he was working on. And he got into work late, which was great. But where he had been working the day before for the previous 8 hours, there was now a set of double glazed unit doors sitting on the floor. If he'd have got in on time, he'd have been under it. And to me, that was my reason for wanting to make sure that we get this straight off the bat and we go for this so that I can get him home with me so we can continue to grow old disgracefully, going to lots of music festivals and things like that. We've both had kind of what I would call kind of life-threatening moments, I suppose, in our life. I'm 46, and at the age of 39, I had a stroke, which was a bit of a shock for me. I just sat down one day having a cup of tea, talking to my mum on the phone, and there it went. You know, the next 6 months were very dodgy, and I'm very lucky that I've managed to get back pretty much everything that I had. So I'm quite compos mentis now, which is good most of the time. Yeah. Dave had MRSA, didn't you? About 15 years ago as well. So we both kind of got this different opinion about life, that we're just going to grab it with both hands and just go for it. Yeah. Yeah. So and
we don't want to spend all our time working for somebody else doing that. No, instead of doing that.
Yeah. And what Nisreen said really resonated with me, because she was saying about loving acting but not being able to make the income that she wanted from it, and having to be a server. And for me, I absolutely love music, and I should have a t-shirt on that says I'd rather be playing bass or I'd rather be singing. I sing in a band and learn instruments, and it's brilliant because now I can go and have a singing lesson or a guitar lesson or a bass lesson, and I can be at home with the kids through all the holidays, and all I do is some posts on my phone. Other mums are sat there doing Candy Crush or just looking at Instagram, but I'm actually just sat there just working my online business, and it's fitting around us, and it's meaning that my man will be home, and I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of us.
That's us. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. That's perspective right there, folks. Do not wait for life to catch up. I thank you for being so candid, guys. I really appreciate that. That was a great story. Let's see here. Who's left? Katie, why don't we get you on here next?
Okay. Hi, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
You're just fine.
Hi. Yep. Okay, great. My name is Katie. I live in Vancouver Island in Canada, but I'm been here for about 10 years. I actually am from the States. So I love being on Vancouver Island. It's gorgeous if you haven't been. Before I found this business, I was also waiting tables. Nisreen, story is kind of similar. I was also doing one-on-one support work with at an early learning center, in addition to my role as a wife and mother of 3 children. So I have a 2-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 14-year-old. Before I transitioned into those jobs, though, I actually owned and operated a brick and mortar franchise business for about 5 years. And so I know that we kind of covered this already, but you can't really even you can't even really have a grand opening for a brick and mortar store without getting into it for 5 or 6 figures. So that in itself, just getting that going was a monumental feat. And I was extremely passionate about my franchise. It took a huge emotional, physical, mental, financial toll on our family. I was extremely dedicated, and a lot of other things kind of went by the wayside, unfortunately, because I just allowed that business to kind of take over my entire life. So when baby number 3, my daughter, was on the way, my husband and I had a heart-to-heart and decided that it just wasn't feasible for us to continue running the business. And we had already at that point been dipping into our personal savings just to pay our overhead and pay our staff. So there was just no time off for me. There's no maternity leave or anything like that as a business owner. So we made the hard decision to just walk away. And it was extremely painful. But it was a decision that we needed to keep our family afloat. So actually, that first year after I closed the business was really fantastic for me, because I got this time with my baby that I didn't have with the other 2, because I was always so focused, workaholic, focused on my business, and I was never around. So with the new baby, I actually got to be at home with her, and it was really wonderful, and I kind of got used to it. I'm going to be honest. It was great not having to worry about that. However, that just also meant that my husband needed to make some sacrifices of his own, and he was working 3 jobs, and one of them is at a remote fishing lodge up in northern or up the coast in Canada, where he's gone for about 3 months in the summer, and he's been doing that job now for I think this was his 4th summer. So that's a huge, I know that a lot of people have kind of lived that life balance with their spouse where one of them has to work away, and I don't really love that. I want him around. I'm selfish. So when he came home last September, we decided that it was time for me to go back to work. So that's not this one, but in 2018, we decided that it was time for me to go back to work, so that maybe I could get him back sooner. But it meant putting our youngest in daycare. And so this is when I started waiting tables and working at the school, because I was able to work those schedules kind of were a little bit more flexible, and I could work them around his jobs and work them around the kids' activities and everything. But they were extremely demanding jobs. And at the end of the day, there just wasn't a lot left for me to give. When I got home, I was done. And sometimes, you know, let's be honest, when you're working in a restaurant, sometimes you don't get home until midnight or, you know, well into the early hours, the wee hours. It's a lot of emotional, it takes an emotional toll as well on the whole household. So I guess with balancing my husband's jobs and my 2 jobs and getting the kids to school and sports and other activities and pro days or no school days or holidays, and like asking time for time off because I had to be at home or the kids are sick, it was just a scheduling insanity. It was just a nightmare. So, you know, the other thing too is that when you put your kids in daycare, it's like, well, where's that money going to come from? So I was going to work just to make enough money so that I could put her in with somebody else. And as much as I know that was a good experience for her, it just, things weren't really adding up. And I was like, what are we doing? Like, why am I doing this? So in 2019, January, just at the new year, I found out about this online business through a friend. I was extremely skeptical. I've seen people lose their shirts in lots of different opportunities before, and I wasn't super interested at first. And then it just kind of sat with me, and I thought, why am I not interested? Why can't I should just like find out more. I mean, let's see, this door is here. Maybe it's time for me to knock on it. So I was determined to find a better way. I didn't even tell my husband, but I decided to take the jump. And the only regret that I have is that I didn't decide to do it sooner. That's the only regret I have. I wish that I would have done it a year ago, but there's no looking back. I'm looking forward now, and I'm in, and I'm loving, loving, loving everything about what I'm doing right now. It's just been a tremendous opportunity. I watched the webinar that you're watching right now, and I did that in June, and I started on the path immediately after that. So I went through the training module in about 2 weeks and just devoured the information because it's fun, it's interesting, and I love learning new skills, and it was a whole new world to crack open. I was up and running in about 3 weeks. And the training and mentorship, like everybody said on the panel already, it's just, this global community is absolutely incredible. And I really do feel like the results speak for themselves. So I started running my ads in about July. And at that point, I took the kids on a 3-week road trip down to Oregon, where my family's from. So we were actually on the road for 3 weeks. And when I got home shortly thereafter in August, I had received my first check in the mail. So how great was that? I mean, I was basically on summer vacation with the kids, not working because my husband was away, and I was getting checks for my new business. So the freedom to run your own business on your own time, basically from anywhere in the world, it's liberating, it's rewarding, it's fun, it's life-changing. It can change your mindset, it can change your focus. And I'm excited to start every day because I don't have to set an alarm clock anymore. The kids wake me up anyway, but you know, that feeling when the alarm goes off and you just kind of cringe. Yeah, I'm done with that. And I couldn't be happier. I don't stress out about scheduling appointments or taking the kids to lessons or sports or school events or any of that stuff. I was always tired of apologizing to people for saying that I was too busy or that I couldn't do it or there wasn't enough time. I never had the money. Now I can say yes to things that I used to say no to because of all those reasons. And so I'm really grateful to you, Mike and Darren and Leanne, for this entire system. And I'm so grateful to myself for taking the chance to live a better life and to take a chance on myself and learn a new skill and change our lives. So I just am so grateful. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on.
Awesome. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yep, you're good.
Oh, good. So thanks for having me on today. I am so excited to share with you my story and journey. This is actually my third time on the panel, and each time it just gets more exciting to share what's been happening. My name's Cherie. I am 37 years old. I'm Australian and have been living in Canada for 8 years now. I came to Canada as a traveler. I did the snow seasons, that sort of thing. And then I met my husband here and have stayed ever since. So home sweet home. We have a 2.25-year-old daughter. You might have seen her saying hi to me before. She got back from a playtime. And we actually have a baby boy on the way. Actually, we get to meet him in just about 6 weeks. It's very exciting. I have to show my baby bump because I don't get to show it off for much longer. So very exciting. And you can see we've got space on the wall, other side here for our little night sky picture. So we're getting very excited for what's ahead. But prior to my daughter being born, I worked a couple of jobs part-time and then enjoyed my mat leave. And then when that kind of all came to an end, I was very fortunate that we decided as a family that I could remain a stay-at-home mom. Not many people get that opportunity. So definitely appreciative of it. But as many stay-at-home moms know, it does come with its own little struggles. It's mainly personal struggles for me. So for part of it was I found that it was defining me. I was a stay-at-home mom and that's all it was. I didn't have much else going on. It can be a little lonely. So that was my whole definition, or what I felt. I have inner demons. So, and then also I really struggle personally not having my own paycheck. I've always been quite independent, being a traveler and traveling the world, younger. And so for me not to have a paycheck every couple of weeks coming in with my name on it, I found it really hard to justify purchases that I wanted to make for myself. Definitely lack the self-care and all that sort of thing. And as a stay-at-home mom, you need those things. So I kind of went without. So definitely appreciative of being one, but oh my goodness, I felt I was starting to feel lost. Then financially, I wasn't contributing. I wasn't bringing into the family. I put a lot of weight on my husband and his role and his work. And his work is hard. It had overtime and that sort of thing, but it's not the kind of work that I want him to do lots of overtime in. So lots of hard ups and downs. So I was kind of getting to a crossroads, I suppose. I was starting to think and consider that maybe I would return to the workforce, return to the 9-to-5, but just at what cost? Like, do I exchange time for money? Do I exchange making memories with my daughter and soon to be son? She's just going up for bath time. Do I exchange that for a paycheck? And it was a really hard decision that, I wasn't there yet. I didn't have to make that decision yet, but it was kind of coming around and I felt like it was coming around fast and I was really not enjoying getting to that point. So, sorry, I'm looking down at my notes because I have baby brain mush, and so I've definitely got my notes here in front of me. So it was conveniently at this time, call it luck, call it fate, call it whatever you'd like, that I stumbled across this opportunity. I had no intention of working online. I had no intention of looking for something that was going to be so outside my box. But here I was, I saw the advertising, and I couldn't not look at it. It seemed to tick all the boxes for what I was looking at without even knowing what I was looking at. So what boxes, I guess, did it tick for me? The flexibility is the main one. That it's huge ticks there. I, as you see, busy 2-year-old with me. So I can set my hours. I can set it around her nap times. I can set it around different play times. I can set it around her tantrums. I can set it around whatever I need to, or she sets it, I guess. She sets it for me. In her words, "Mummy, no hi. So get off your phone, Mom. It's not time to work right now. It's time to play with me." So, you know, I love the flexibility of that. I'm not tied into having to sit at a desk or, you know, go into work at set hours. I can do it after hours if I need to. Or, and time-wise, you know, some days it's just 15 minutes. That's all I spend on the business. Some days it's like today when I'm doing a bit of work and the panel, things like that, could be up to 4 hours, but it's not usually more than that. And it's usually around the 1 to 2 hours a day. So it's really not taking much of my time. I'm definitely not doing a 8 or 10 hour day and dropping off a grumpy kid in the morning and being a grumpy mum at the end. So I love the flexibility. It's great. I also love the hand holding, honestly. Yeah, you're not spoon-fed everything, but you have the mentorship and everything. And, you know, when you're getting into such a new endeavor, it's really appreciated to have that support and the community and everything like that. I know we do talk on this, and I'll try not to cover too much repeat because I value your time. I know we're ticking. Training, like everyone else, 2 weeks to get through the training. I was up and going. I saw leads the very next day. And, you know, so I was reaching people. So straight away, I saw the system working for me. I was so excited to see that it could work for me the same that it was working for everyone else. And I had converting leads within that first month. So that was even more exciting. So it just kept going from there. I had no interest in the typical work from home type things. I didn't want to bug my friends. I didn't want the parties. I didn't want to try and sell things to people and lose friendships, because we move every few years. So friendships come and go as they are, and I didn't want to lose any more. So yeah, that was another part. And the biggest tick box maybe for me was the fact that I could just jump in and check it all out and not have to worry about losing any money until I knew for sure that it was for me. So, you know, you've got your 30 days, take it. I didn't have to rush in, and I definitely didn't have to rush out. Some people rush out of this so quickly, it's mind-boggling, but you have the videos to watch, and you have a community to join. You can watch, you can learn, you can engage. There's so much exciting things to see, and you've got 30 days to do it. Not many places would offer that without actually having to commit. There's a lot of moving parts, so connect the dots, and you'll really see how amazing it really is. And anyway, moving on. Sorry, I was starting to lose my train of thought. So I've been with it now for a number of months, and I'm right in an exciting part. I seem to be hitting some milestones left, right, and center at the moment, both personal and business related. So it is getting exciting. There's a lot of hype, and I just love that it does keep getting bigger and better, as they've said. So I'm not at the 10 figures, but 10 figures, 5 figures, but getting there. And then what has it done for me? Because of this system, because of joining, and because of just saying yes to myself mainly, I have a new lease on life. I have a new focus. I'm not just the stay-at-home mum. I'm the stay-at-home mum boss, and I have new interactions. I have adult interactions, not just with my 2-year-old, because there's business partners to talk to, there's community members to talk to, and it's really exciting, and it's lots of fun. And what I love the most is that I'm more present with my daughter and more appreciative that I am a stay-at-home mum, because it was so close to getting taken away or sacrificed to get a paycheck. So that was a real turnaround. It can have its hard days, yes, for sure, but I get to stay this way and I don't have to look back now. So that's really great. I had 2 ultimate goals starting. The first was to remain home, so tick that one off. I'm my own boss. I'm achieving what I wanted to do and no regrets. The second one, a bit of travel. As I said, I'm from Australia, and you know, it's not cheap to go back to Australia, and definitely not now with 3 paying family members, not just 1 or 2, or now it's 3. So my parents try and come out every year, but I still have brothers, sisters, nephews that I want to visit, and I want them to meet my family properly. They've met my daughter Sienna, but baby on the way. You know, I don't want it to be years until they can meet him. So we actually have a trip booked for Maui in March, and that will be our first family vacay for a family of 4. So very excited for that. He'll only be a couple months old, and then no doubt as soon as we're back from there, I'm going to be looking at when I can get home. So just being able to think ahead and know that that's going to be feasible is so exciting for me, and to know that I can regularly go home and not just once every few years or 4 years. So, you know, that's the changes, what it's mean to me. That's what it's done for me. I know there's stay-at-home mums out there that can relate. So yeah, hope to see you guys on the inside, and thanks for your time.
Awesome. Thank you, Sherry. All right, let's get Karina on here next. Karina?
Hi. Hi, Mike. Can you hear me?
Yep, you're good. Go ahead.
Okay, so I've been having technical issues, and so I'm just going to keep talking, and if it's not working, let me know. The first thing you learn when you start an online digital business is that you have to roll with the punches of technology. So hello, everybody. Thank you for having me here. My name is Karina, and I am also from Vancouver Island. I am a full-time office employee bookkeeper and full-time mom to a 3-year-old girl. And when I found this business, I was coming to the realization that in a couple of years, my daughter's going to be starting school. And being a single parent, I was starting to worry about what was I going to do as far as my time schedule for work. You know, I do the regular 8 to 4 routine, and she's going to be going to school from 8:30 to 2:30. How am I going to get her there? How am I going to pick her up? How am I going to attend her extracurricular activities? How am I possibly going to squeeze this all into my already very full life? So I crossed the business. A friend introduced me to it, and it actually took me quite a while to sit here and watch this very same presentation that we are all watching right now. But when I finally did, I had this huge aha light bulb moment and knew right away that it was going to be my ticket. Starting this business has been a life changer. It's been so rewarding. Not only has it opened up a whole world of opportunity, but it's been a personal journey of healing and growth. My daughter and I tragically lost her in November of 2019, and so finding this business and community that it brings and the social aspect that it opens up is just, you can't even put it to words, the support that's available. And so not only has it been a educational journey, but also, as I said, a healing journey as well. What this opportunity is going to give me is the life that I got with my daughter that I always wanted. I'm a late blooming mother. I actually waited, not by choice, but almost 2 decades to get pregnant. And so when I finally did, it was like, you know, things that you only see in movies. It was that big of an event. And so now that I'm a single parent, not by choice, I want to give my daughter every opportunity that I possibly can and be there for her 100%. Business is going to give me the opportunity. I won't have to worry about the 9-to-5 job. I will be able to be there for her and for my family. Like somebody else said tonight, I also have elderly parents, and I am now living close by to them, and we can see each other as often as we need to. But I want to be able to be free to spend as much time with them and let them be the grandparents that they need to be, and we've all waited for. Oh dear, I've lost my train of thought. You know, I think that everything really has already been covered. Sherry before me, she really mentioned everything that you could possibly say about being a parent and wanting to stay at home, so I won't repeat all that. I'm going to say that this business model is incredible. There is nothing that hasn't been left untouched or unavailable to you. Mike and Darren and Leanne have done an amazing job. All the people that are behind this, behind the scenes, that support this system, it's huge and it's amazing and it's a life changer. So all I can say is don't wait. Spend that $149. You could spend that a night out at dinner, you know, going and buying yourself a new coat for winter. What more do you have to invest in yourself? Just do it. You won't have any regrets. I think that's all I'll say.
It's a great way to wrap it up. Thank you, Karina.
Yeah, and I think your signal was really good because we heard everything. So, you know, people always ask the proof. Jocelyn asked me in the chat roll earlier, where's the proof that this works? Well, this is the proof. You're hearing from people using the system. And that's why we do these webinars live. You know, we've done these for over 3 years now, twice a week. We always have different people on here. Some of them have been with us, you know, for almost the whole time, like Nisreen, you know, been here almost 3 years, and other people are pretty new, and we've got everything in between, and they're always rotating through so that you can hear from different people. We have different people each time. So even if you are still skeptical after watching tonight, we'll be here again next week. Well, not here. We'll be in a different. We'll
be in Texas.
Yeah,
actually.
We'll be in Texas next week. So you know, and we do these live even when we're on the go. Right now, we're in a hotel room in Toronto, and you know, no matter where we are, we do the webinars so that you can see, you know, it's working even for us who are running the business, you know, online, just like we advertise online on the go from wherever we are in the world. So this is the proof. And, you know, if you still don't believe after watching this, well, then it's probably not a fit for you. You know, there's nothing we can really do about that.
Let me jump in on that too. I don't want to interrupt, but I think, you know, this is the problem with the online space. And Jocelyn, I'll call you out on this one. There's a lot of people out there that are claiming that they can make you a millionaire overnight. And I get it. You're in the mindset now that we're supposed to be on here now saying that we can make you rich and this is foolproof, right?
We're not saying that.
We're not saying that at all. This is a real business, guys. And this is a system. But at the end of the day, you know, there's a lot of people who have said the same thing here tonight. A system is just a system. It's up to you now to make something of it. And that's why this works the way it does, because it's the system combined with the training, combined with the mentorship. But remember, we said, you've got to step up. You've got to actually engage this to make it work.
I was saying to Mike last night, our tagline's we're going through we have a rebrand competition within our group right now. Because we do have a secret group with a name that you'll find out once you join. And I said the tagline should be real people with real results, because that's what it is. We're all just real people, you know. I'm not laying on top of a Lamborghini, you know, telling you know.
I don't even like Lamborghinis.
So it's, you know, and everybody in this is real, and yeah, this is the proof. So
that's right.
Once you join, you know, you get all the information in the next step, and it's like we said earlier on the webinar. You know, if it's not a fit for you for any reason, you get your money back in full anyway. So you really have absolutely nothing to lose by taking the next step and getting the information. because we can't, it's 2 more hours worth of video that, we've already been here almost 2 hours. We can't have it all in one webinar. It would just be too long. So that's why we've broken it up that way. And we don't want looky-loos. We want the serious people, because those are the ones who are going to do really well with this. And, a lot of people did already join, so congratulations. And some people posted in the chat that they joined, so congratulations to all of you. If you don't have an email already, you're going to get an email with your next steps. And one of those steps is to friend your coach on Facebook. So just make sure, if you're using a different name on Facebook than what you use to just join with, that you send your coach, when you add them, send them a message and let them know, I joined with probably your real name and I'm using this name on Facebook, just so that we can connect the dots on our end. And that goes for if you're watching the replay of this webinar as well and you join over the weekend or whatnot. But yeah, congratulations again, and thanks for spending your evening with us. We went a little over, but we had some really great people on tonight sharing their stories and their experience.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you to all the presenters.
Yeah, thank you, presenters. I really appreciate your time. I know for some of you it was really late in the evening, so thank you for staying up with us.
It's late for us.
You're all pro stars. I'm so proud of each and every one of you. I'll see you on the inside. To those of you that did take action tonight, see you on the other side too. Good night, everybody.
Good night.